Today we dive into 3 gut-wrenching betrayals, a secret best friend, a hidden second home, and a burner phone that exposed a systematic lie. 2 weeks ago, my fiancé's so-called work bestie slid into my Instagram DMs with a trembling screenshot. She'd collected months of messages between us, each line exposing how he painted me as a safe, boring option while describing her as the only person who truly understood his soul. He called our wedding planning a chore and confessed his doubts about forever, all to her. My heart slammed against my ribs, nausea flooding my chest as I read his words. In that instant, the future I'd built crumbled into ash. Mark and I had been together for 4 years, dreaming of a wedding that felt like the final chapter of our love story. He was charming, always open about his friendships, especially his work bestie who he claimed was just a confidant. We spent weekends planning venues, tasting cakes, and sharing playlists that felt like the soundtrack of our lives. To anyone watching, we appeared inseparable, our smiles genuine, our future bright. The stability I cherished was built on countless late-night talks, promises of forever, and a ring that glittered with hope. At first, the red flags were tiny. He'd answer texts with vague emojis, and his work trips seemed longer than necessary. He started canceling our date nights, claiming urgent meetings, yet his calendar showed empty slots. Occasionally, I'd hear laughter from his phone when I wasn't around, and he brushed it off as just office banter. He began guarding his phone, setting new passwords, and becoming defensive when I asked simple questions about his day. Each excuse felt like a knot tightening, but love made me ignore the growing unease. The final proof arrived hidden in a screenshot she sent me at midnight, each message timestamped and unmistakably real. He confessed that the wedding felt like a chore, that he was planning a separate future with her, and even mentioned a hidden bank account for our plans. My hands trembled as I scrolled, the screen glowing like a courtroom spotlight. I called him, demanding answers, and his silence turned into a shaky admission. He tried to gaslight me, calling her unstable, but the evidence left no room for denial. After the truth surfaced, I called off the wedding and moved back in with my parents, the ring now a heavy reminder of betrayal. I changed my locks, deleted his number, and began therapy to untangle the grief. Slowly, I reclaimed my independence, focusing on my career and rediscovering hobbies I'd abandoned. Friends rallied around me, reminding me that my worth isn't defined by his lies. Months later, I'm planning a solo trip abroad, a celebration of my resilience, and the empty space where his promises once lived feels finally open. Now we shift to a tale of a hidden double life uncovered through a secret iCloud album, revealing an entire second home. One ordinary afternoon I opened our shared iCloud looking for a work document, and a hidden album caught my eye. Inside were photos of a sleek apartment I'd never seen, decorated with candles, a Christmas tree, and a smiling woman whose arm was draped over a man I didn't recognize. Next to those were pictures of a set of keys, a birthday cake, and a handwritten note that read our first home together. My partner's frequent consulting trips suddenly felt like a cruel joke. We had built a life together for 7 years, sharing bank accounts, passwords, and a vision of starting a family. He was the charismatic consultant who could charm any client, and I admired his ambition. Our evenings were filled with homemade meals, Netflix marathons, and plans for a house with a garden. Friends often called us the perfect couple, and I believed his stories of disliking the city we lived in, even though he booked flights there every month. The trust felt unshakable, until the hidden album shattered it. Gradually, his schedule grew erratic. He'd disappear for hours, claiming urgent client calls that left no voicemail. He started receiving mysterious packages, which he tucked away in a closet, refusing to explain their contents. Occasionally, I'd catch him smiling at his phone, his eyes softening in a way I never saw when he looked at me. He became defensive when I asked about his weekends away, and his excuses grew more elaborate, mentioning new projects and confidential meetings. Each odd habit felt like a whisper of a truth I wasn't ready to hear. The turning point arrived when I logged into the iCloud again, this time scrolling through the album's dates. One photo was marked December 2022, showing us, him, the woman, and a small child blowing out candles, unmistakably our niece. Another image displayed a set of house keys with his name engraved, placed on a kitchen counter that didn't belong to our apartment. The metadata proved the pictures were taken in a city we'd never visited together. My stomach dropped as I realized he had built an entire parallel family behind my back. I confronted him with the images, and his calm facade shattered. He admitted to a second marriage and a child he'd never mentioned. I packed a bag that night, left the house, and filed for divorce, demanding custody of our assets. Therapy became my refuge, helping me process the enormity of his deception. Over time, I reclaimed my financial independence, sold the house, and moved into a cozy apartment of my own. Today, I celebrate my birthday alone, surrounded by friends, and I'm proud of the woman I've become beyond his lies. Our final tale follows a husband who hid a burner phone in his gym bag, revealing a systematic web of deception. While cleaning his gym bag after a long run, I felt a sudden itch to check the hidden pocket. Inside lay a cheap, black burner phone, its screen lit with a dozen conversations. Names I didn't recognize stared back, each thread addressed a different woman, complete with flirtatious jokes and compliments about my boring housewife routine. The realization hit like a cold wave. He wasn't just cheating once, he'd built an entire parallel network. My hands trembled, my breath caught, and the gym's fluorescent lights seemed to flicker in sync with my breaking heart. We had been married 5 years, a routine of morning coffees, weekend hikes, and a shared dream of starting a family. He worked as a project manager, often traveling for consulting projects, and I trusted his nightly calls as proof of his commitment. Our friends praised our stability. We hosted dinner parties where everyone commented on how perfect we seemed. I handled the house, while he handled the finances, and we planned a nursery together. The apparent harmony made his hidden life feel impossible, until the phone revealed otherwise. The first clues were subtle. He'd become unusually protective of his phone, refusing to let me see the lock screen. He started taking extra gym sessions after work, claiming he needed to stay fit for upcoming projects, but his workouts stretched into evenings. Occasionally, I'd hear muffled laughter from the bathroom when he thought I was out of the room, and his responses were curt, as if he'd just been caught. He also began complaining about my nagging over house chores, a new irritability that seemed out of character. The moment I decided to investigate, I opened the hidden pocket and turned on the burner phone, its battery surprisingly full. The inbox displayed dozens of messages, each addressed to a different name: Lena, Maya, Sophie. In one thread, he wrote, "She thinks I'm just a fun friend, but she's starting to notice the cracks in my marriage." Another message bragged about a secret meeting at a downtown bar, describing how he would keep it low-key because his wife thought he was working late. The cold hard truth stared back at me, undeniable. I confronted him that night, holding the phone like evidence of his systematic betrayal. He tried to downplay it, saying the conversations were just fantasies, but the pain was already etched deep. I left the house, moved into a friend's spare room, and filed for divorce, demanding a fair split of assets. Over the following months, I rebuilt my life, reclaimed my independence, and began a new chapter focused on healing and self-discovery.